All right, we just started a new live stream. I'm here with Alexander Walton, the relationship doctor, and we just recorded a podcast, but there was no audio, so we are doing another one, and hopefully this one has audio. Although
I don't know. It's weird. The angle like makes you look way bigger than me, but you guys need to know that actually I'm like way taller and more jacked than Eli.
all right, I need to find this fucking link then. Hey, that's me talking right now. Yeah, we have audio.
Work at all?
We got audio.
Is there a way to check if the last one worked at all? How do we check?
It's working.
This?
The last one did not work.
No.
Can you text me that link? All right, so you're a fucking you're the relationship doctor.
Yes, I am, Eli.
What are your qualifications?
I've been doing this since 2007, sir. This is all I have done. How old were you in 2007? Tell me, were you 15 like me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine every moment since you were 15 was spent on one thing. You know how you're this.
I'd be so successful.
You know how you're this multi-talent mystery, and you can play drums and bass and guitar, and you can rap, and you can fucking make people laugh on stage, and you got all these talents. Imagine if there was all on one thing. This is all I have done since January of 2007.
What was your first gig?
Honestly, it's kind of crazy.
Did you just like help your friends out for free and then people told about you?
Well, yeah, sort of like for free, yes. But my first real gig, honestly, is the most impressive maybe to certain people, which was, oh, that smells good. What is that?
Diamond peach ice.
Let me try that.
It's real.
Let me try that shit. Let me try.
Real diamonds.
Oh, that's fire. Is that yours? That's fire. The first client that I had co-founded a multi-billion-dollar company.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's my first client.
Who the fuck is hiring a 15-year-old as a
I
billionaire?
wasn't 15. I was 21.
Still.
But he was like 27, 28. And it was already worth $2 billion at the time. It's worth $7 billion now. I'm not saying it was due to working with me, but there is a timeline. I'm not saying it was because of that, but
you should. You definitely should.
I can't probably legally. I don't want to do that, but like there is a timeline that it was worth 2, and then we worked together, and then technically, a couple of years later, it was worth 6 or 7. So it's not because of me, but I'm sure that didn't hurt.
I need to delete our fucking story with the wrong thing in it now.
Jesus Christ,
you're doing like the light skin lower lip by like.
I texted you guys.
Oh fuck! So I gotta repost this right now.
Nah, don't worry about it, dude.
All right,
we only got like 2 viewers on the last one.
Okay.
So some people get an alert and be like, "Oh, I'll check it out."
All right. I'm just gonna post it like just the link, and then you keep talking. Go ahead,
dude. If I did one thing since I was 15, I would be a fucking world power.
I am. Look, I don't want to be arrogant and stuff, but I'm very good at I'm very good at this. It's all I've focused on for 17 years. So I am world class.
So you would say that you are good with women?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Some women hate me, and some women adore me. So I'm not. It's my skill set is with people. I understand human beings, and I know how to. I'm good with myself, and I know how to interact with people, and I'm able to connect with any level of successful man and any level of attractiveness of woman. And some love me, some hate me. So that's what I focus on is people, and I feel pretty comfortable there. And there's not many who could do it like that.
You think men and women can be friends?
Not really. I mean, yes, technically, but men typically want to smash, even if they're not that attracted to her. They're still down because of just how men's nature is. And women are down to be friends because it's someone to hang out with, it's someone to vent to, it's someone to go have dinners with or go on adventures with, and like there's not so much expectation. It's kind of like a weird trade. I don't think it's ideal for men, probably. I will say this. I've got a friend, Bryant. He's genius at networking. Better than me, maybe. I don't know. and he's connected with very wealthy men and very, very beautiful women all across the world every time he travels. He's got a lot of female friends, and he's not like some like horn dog, I guess. So he, in his case, he genuinely has female friends, and
Like
they
he
go
could bang him if he wanted to, but he doesn't.
maybe sometimes, yeah. I think a lot of times, yes, but mostly doesn't, and it's kind of like not where his head's at. So he is able to go out with these gorgeous women, typically from Scandinavia. He does very well with the women from Scandinavia. He's famous in certain countries in Scandinavia, and he should be. He deserves it. And they will take him out, and like they all go hang out, and like all of a sudden he has access to this gigantic network of women. Okay, so I mean, so the answer I guess would be yes, that it is possible. But is that what most men are trying to do, or are they just trying to be friends so that they can slide in at
Well,
some point?
I have a lot of women that I'm friends with that I mean, I guess I would if they were just like, "Hey, you want to fuck me right now?" I'd
They're
probably
just
be
like
like, "Okay," but like I'm not like
trying to do
trying
that.
to.
But that's my point. Is that a lot of men feel that way, where it's like, well, if it were on the table, like I would go for it. It's not always that it's the intention behind the relationship, but there's always like an openness to it. So the reason why this question you asked, good question, is relevant is because if you're the boyfriend of that woman and she has those male friends, most of those male friends are down at any moment, pretty much, right? So now you have like potential suitors pretending to be friends, and she's like, "Oh, they're just my friends." That's where it gets. They would be happy to take her up on that offer at any moment it presents itself. So maybe she had a fight with you that night, and they're hanging out. I'm gonna go hang out with my friend, she's like, "Oh, my boyfriend was saying this to me and that to me," and now he's like, "Oh, he's recognizes, ooh, this is an opportunity," and now he's like, "Oh, fuck him. He's he's an asshole. You shouldn't be with a guy like that. He doesn't appreciate you. You're the beautiful person." Like that's where where this conversation becomes actually relevant, because I think that genuinely you could be, but it's always
Because I feel like having women friends is like a cheat code.
Mm.
Because like I have a bunch
It
of
is.
women that'll vouch for me, and that helps.
Yeah, it does.
Like I have a bunch of chicks that know me around town. I'm like, "Oh yeah, Eli's cool."
Yeah,
And that's like a huge like.
you're fucking awesome.
I just went from potential serial killer to probably not.
Yeah, you're fucking awesome, and it is a cheat code. And Bryant Goodlife is an example of this, and he crushes it in all realms socially, and he does it that way. He's genuinely like not even trying to smash his friends. He just genuinely enjoys women, and women enjoy him, and he's a really great energy. And yeah, it's exactly what you just said.
So your first client, can we get into financials?
Yes.
Like from long ago, not current.
No, we can talk about financials. Sure.
I'm curious what your starting pay was in around age 21 in that, and what your direction consisted of.
I wasn't charging in the beginning. So basically for this first guy, my mentor introduced me to him because he was staying with that guy, and he was coaching me on that stuff. And basically, my mentor, he's like coaching me on the same things we're talking about. And he's like, "I'm staying with this guy." He's like, "You should meet him because he's good at business. And Alex, you're trying to learn about business." And like to the client, "You should meet Alex because he's really good socially. And you're trying to learn about that stuff." So that's how we connected. And he was in my city, and he had like a fucking multi-million-dollar apartment in the center of a very expensive city. So I went. We just became friends, and he would just invite me to stay down there with him in the second bedroom, and we'd go out together. And I would like observe him chatting with chicks, or I would open up some chicks, and introduce and stuff like that, and we would pull girls together, and have just like a nice evening. I'm gonna be very careful right now. We would have a nice evening together and stuff, and there was no payment. It was like I got to stay for free downtown when I was broke as a 20 to 21-year-old kid in like the dopest area. and had this friend. He would pay for everything. He was just like amazing. And then there was some things that happened later where he would come visit me sometimes when I started to travel. The early days of me charging, I was charging very, very little. How deep do you want me to go into the early days of charging versus
Medium.
like later? Okay. My first offer that I ever put out officially was $60 a month. It was $59 a month. And I was,
wow.
bro, I was doing 4, 5, 6 hour Skype calls 3, 4 days a week. I was just like, I'll be here as long as you need me to. Now, my recent clients have paid me $2,000 an hour. More recently. Yeah, it costs $2,000 an hour if you want to do it by the hour, or if we do like a 12-week package, we talk once a week, half an hour. It's 12 grand, and that comes out to $2,000 an hour.
Bro, that's like the best business model that exists.
The biggest package I've sold up till now is 50 to 60 grand. Because there was 40,000 to me, cash collected, and then he paid for the Airbnbs it was 40 days living together, one-on-one. 40 days. 40 days living together, one-on-one. We're living together. I'm going to tell you everything. We're going to go through this process together. I'm going to take you through like a condensed self-development process. 40,000 for that. You pay for the Airbnbs, you pay for the food and whatever. So it came out to 50, 55, something like that. And I collected 40 of that. That was $1,000 a day. And that was before I got up to, that was a few years ago. So it was before I got up to 2,000 an hour. But that's the biggest like collection of cash at once.
That's great. What's the most you've ever done in a month?
50, because of that 40, that other one was over 2 months or like multiple months. Yeah.
That's pretty good. And there's no overhead.
Yeah, very little. He pays for the overhead in that case, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just like in terms of any other business, you're gonna be paying for inventory and do you pay for marketing or is it word of mouth?
I'm trying to learn about that, but it's all been word of mouth, which is part of the problem. But it's also amazing, but that's part of the problem because it's not predictable.
Yeah, it's not scalable.
I've had months that are under 1,000, and I've had months that are over 50,000, and it's not predictable. So I'm working on that now, and that's why we've got our guy here. Credit to our boy TJ. Try to make that content more predictable,
Yeah, we got other people in the background here.
I want to go ahead.
So what would you say? So how many clients have you helped?
1,000 plus at this point, yeah, in the past 10 years.
So what would you say is, based on your experience, the biggest problem men have?
They're manipulated by media, government, Hollywood, society, and they believe
it always comes back to that.
Yeah, that's what they believe is they believe some bullshit that isn't true because they've been marketed to, and you're not paying it. You should be like paying attention to guys like Eli, and like that's what it is. It's not real. What you believe is not real. They've been lied to, and they fucking swallow it like good little cucks.
I was gonna ask what other role models you can look for. But you said me
out there in the world.
I can't disagree. Although I have not really had successful relationships.
Why do you think that is?
Because
we're going to do a secret coaching session right now.
Oh shit! I can't put too much of my personal life out there, but
hey, bro, I told about the.
No, the audio cut out on that.
Okay.
We did an episode right before this, and there was no audio, and we had to fucking exit out and start this over again.
True. Okay. Yeah. Why do you think that is? Why don't you think you have? Because before you let me set you up.
So
hold on. You are extremely talented in multiple ways. Let me finish before you answer. I want you to understand how I see you, because I know the landscape of who's out there, men and women. I know who's trying to get success and not trying. I know who wins and who doesn't. I know why they win and don't. Just like you've been. What's your just answer quickly? One answer. What's your top skill set? Would you say, is it MMA? Is it music, comedy, rap? What's the thing that you feel like this is the thing I'm the best at of all the things I'm good at.
I would say comedy.
Okay. After
My friends have their own opinions.
fine. After you've been on stage that many times, you see the patterns, right? And it starts to feel like second nature.
Yeah.
So that's how I am with this. And so I can see the patterns, and I'm looking at you and I'm going, you're good at music. Incredible. You stunned me earlier. I'm inspired. I want to fucking move in with you now so we can fucking jam and shit. And I want to just be around you for that alone, not aside from you just being fun and awesome. You're good at music. You're good at fighting. You're hilarious. You're saying you did a little reaction there because you're like, well, I've seen guys who are better and stuff. Fuck you. Like you have like a high standard for yourself. Don't interrupt me. I'm not done. Music, fighting. You're hilarious. You can rap. You got confidence. You're charismatic. You're fun to be around. You have like good intentions. You have a sweet dog and a really messy backyard.
It's the wind, bro.
Is the wind. My point is, I see that, and I know what that means. If you're not getting the success you're looking for, I know, there's something. It's not those things because you are that catch already. There's something else here that I recognize the patterns and I'm able to see it. So I actually don't remember the question, but I know that was relevant to what I was trying to get to.
You asked me why I don't have a girlfriend.
No, why you haven't had successful
Why I
relationships.
haven't had successful relationships. Okay, so first, when I was a kid, my parents used to scream at each other every day, like all the time. So as a kid, I looked at my parents and I was like, oh, being married is when you meet someone and then you guys scream at each other for the next 10 years. That's what I thought. That's what I thought a relationship was. So I was like, I'm never going to do that. And then my first relationship, I was playing all kinds of games because I was like trying to beat her to the punch. I would like act like a woman before she had the chance to.
Meaning?
And like she would say something and then I'd be like, what do you mean by that? Like I'd act all offended and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like I would do this shit that I was worried she was gonna do to me to her first, and then I would watch her like short circuit because she was like I was gonna do that, but she didn't realize.
Was that on
she was about
purpose?
to do that. Yes, it was on purpose. It was very strategic.
Okay.
It was.
Why did you think you had to be strategic like that?
Because of the whole screaming stuff. And this was my first girlfriend wasn't until I was 26, until like after college and after I had, dated a number of chicks for like short times. So I already was like, okay, any girl I have is going to cheat on me because all the girls that I met at that point were promiscuous.
Sure.
Which, I definitely attract a certain type, and it was a certain type back then, even more so, because at least now I'm like conscious and aware and like trying to better myself. Whereas like, a few years back, I was just an alcoholic and I was like set on committing suicide within the next few years. And so a lot's changed, but sometimes I feel like I had better success with women when I was a drunk piece of shit all the time.
Why do you think that is?
I think women respect authenticity, and just the fact that I just didn't give a fuck was attractive to certain types of women.
Were you attracting the wrong type then, do you think, or not? You just weren't capable of like meeting. Were they the wrong type, or was it you?
Well, it was definitely me.
They were the right type.
No, I was okay. So with women, for me, like what I'm attracted to, I'd say like skinny girl with big boobs, and then people are like, well, what about the personality? Like, I don't know about the personality. I can't like see that. Like, I can't be like, okay, pick out who has the best personality in this room. Like, you can't fucking do that. You got to fucking talk to them first. So I don't know. I'm just saying, first they got to be hot, or I'm not going to talk to them.
Sure.
And is that shallow? Maybe. Are peacocks shallow for fucking spreading their feathers and doing a little? Every animal's shallow. Okay, that's not my fault. You think I want to be attracted to the least attainable members of society? Fuck no. I'd rather be bagging a fucking 2 every night if that actually made me feel fulfilled. But that is gross to me. So I gotta go for the hot ones, and I'm not happy about it. But it is what it is.
No.
And like I mean, like my biggest issue with chicks is that they're annoying and stupid. And by annoying, I mean they ask stupid questions. Like mirroring is a like an FBI negotiation tactic, right?
yes. Oh, I'm familiar with mirroring.
Do you recommend mirroring to your clients?
No, I've never once spoken about mirroring as a suggested thing.
Because I fucking hate that. I hate when people mirror. When I talk to a chick and then she says the same thing back to me, I'm like, dude, think of your own fucking words. Those are mine. I actually dated this chick for a couple weeks.
Hold on, that's
and
fucking,
I thought,
all right, I'm gonna bookmark that.
I dated this chick for a couple weeks and I thought she was really funny. And I like told my friends, like, oh, I met this chick, she's super funny. And then I took a closer look and I realized that she was just rewording the last 3 words of what I said.
No, I like
every time. And then once I realized it, I was like, I can't hang out with you anymore.
You're probably paranoid, honestly.
What do you mean?
Because like that's a good sign from a woman, I think.
I'm aware that they're doing it because.
No, I don't mean. I'm saying I don't think that they're manipulating necessarily.
No, I don't either.
Oh, okay.
It just annoys me.
But
I don't like repeating myself.
Well,
they're saying it. They're doing it because they care about what I have to say.
Yes.
And they genuinely want me to repeat myself because they don't fucking understand because their tiny little fucking bird brain explodes when my fucking 300 IQ
oh my God, you're
masculine voice berates their ear cochlear.
You're canceled. That's hilarious. But I honestly think like, all right, I'm going to go instead of for the joke. This is me being gay as fuck right now, but like my real response to that is that's on you because that is the kind of woman that you want. You want a woman who's interested in what you have to say. And if she's asking you, if she's mirroring it back by accident because she's genuinely interested, that's a woman that okay, your dog is humping the pillow of himself right now. Sorry, I just got distracted. But genuinely, that's a beautiful quality. I think that's a beautiful quality. So
someone messaged the chat.
What's up, chat? Do you guys understand that you're here with the Cricket Lord, Octavius Thunder? Do you understand?
Someone says, this sucks. Go back to drugs.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. Nah, fuck that.
If I don't blow up this year, I'm gonna relapse and sabotage everything next year.
No, I don't think that's the move, man. You are an extreme multi-talent. We haven't had enough time together, but we've spent obviously some time in person, but mostly a lot of our connection has been like chatting in between times when we, find the time to see each other. And I think that you're like one of my favorite people I've met who I haven't spent that much time with. I've met a lot of people, man. Like I tried to calculate it at some point recently. It was like, tens of 50, 60,000 people over the years. Because what I was doing when I was out there traveling for like 8 years straight in my 20s throughout Europe and Asia and South America and a little bit in the States was meeting people and approaching people and making connections. I'm offended by that, what you just said. Like, what do you mean? Like, why? It's
which part?
When you talk like that, when you say, I know it's like half somewhat joking, but I feel like it's half serious also.
Which part?
When you say I'm going to relapse and become suicidal.
Oh yeah,
and like
it's a joke that I'm serious about.
Yeah, it's not. I don't find it funny because you're dope. You're doing so much right. I look up to you in so many ways of what you're doing. You show me.
I'm going to blow up this year, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, if you didn't, that's not a reason to give up, bro. You're the fucking man. You are the fucking man. So whatever's like. Not...
I felt more like the man when I was drinking.
okay, fine. There's something not clicking, fine. That can be addressed. But I want you around, bro.
All right, dude, I won't kill myself.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't fucking do that. And it's not funny.
I said I was going to
like-
sabotage. I didn't say it. Actually, I don't know, man. Yeah, don't die. This is the name of this.
That's the fucking.
The whole point of this podcast is to remind me not to kill myself.
Yeah, well, dude, I don't know why. I mean, there's something that I don't know if that's like a fucking health issue. Maybe you need some fucking Gary Brecka supplements. You know about that guy?
The
10X guy? 10X Health?
he used
Help
to work
Dana
for like an
White?
insurance.
Yes. I mean, I don't know if that's what it is. Whatever it is can be solved, but you're awesome. We need you around. We love being around you. So, and I think in regards to, let's get back to the women thing. Why do you think you don't have the relationships that you want? And then I'll let you take over. I'm just curious to.
It's just something I feel, like when I meet someone, I can just feel if they're right. And it always just
What's the best
feels like
relationship you've ever had?
with a bisexual girl.
Okay.
That
Threesomes?
yeah, that's how I met her. I met her having a threesome on a yacht. And then
It's pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
And then she would just we were just hooking up a bunch, and it just felt like a movie. Like every moment we spent together was like, oh, it was like crazy.
What do you mean by when you say a movie?
Like she would have a perfect response for everything that I would say.
As it when
For like 3 months straight. Everything that was said between us was like the best.
do you mean like funny?
So a lot of times I'll kind of talk to everyone where I leave like an opportunity for a joke to be made. I'll kind of like allow a setup, or I'll say something where it's not something that you can just pick up on if you're not already like my friend.
Sure.
It just kind of happens.
Okay.
Where I'll like if I were to say,
Can I put my foot here? My feet.
sure. That doesn't
I'm listening.
I'm trying to think how to phrase this.
Yeah. Come on. It's our first of many.
I guess there's just certain times where I say something and then I'm kind of hoping for a certain type of response, and they'll give me the wrong answer.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll think of an example.
Okay. Give me
So
one.
sometimes I'll be trying to tell,
Did
let's say I'm telling you a
Did you know that
story.
I was part black?
Yes,
And did you know that I'm also part Iranian, like Middle Eastern?
that makes sense.
Okay, good. So I'm trying to give you some ammo right now.
But I'm still in the middle of a thing.
Oh, okay.
Also, that was terrible.
I'm just trying to give you some fucking easy race joke. I don't know. Okay.
No, it's not like a setup for like a punchline, just like fun conversation. Like, I don't know, the way me and Gary talk in our clips, that's literally how we talk in person.
Yeah.
But like, so for example, I will be explaining, let's say like I'm telling a story, like I went to 10th Planet and did jujitsu, and then I won a thing, and they're like, what's 10th Planet or what's jujitsu? And then I gotta like explain I gotta stop the story to explain the first part of the thing I said, and then the whole thing that I wanted to discuss doesn't even get touched because I'm too busy covering the basics of defining like basic things in the conversation. And that is on me, because that kind of, I'm an asshole because I'm just like, oh, I don't want to fucking answer your questions. Like, I just want to deal with people that already know everything. Which, like, when I have a chick, it's like, I'm not a mind reader. Like, bitch, well, I'm looking for a mind reader. Okay, like when I've had good relationships with women, they're quintessentially mind readers. They're quite like, I don't know how else to say it. They just know what to say. It just is or isn't. I've met chicks before that are like, well, how was I supposed to know that about you? You didn't communicate that would upset you. I'm like, I didn't need to communicate everything. She's like, how was I supposed to know? You're not just supposed to know how people think. You just you figure it out.
Interesting. Do you think that that's because you have such a high skill set in your level of expression, but which also comes at a cost?
Yeah. Well, I think it's mostly because just my mind is going really fast and I'm thinking of so many things all the time
Yep.
that most people think a lot slower than me. And that like hurts for me to talk to slower people than me. It's like walking behind someone that is walking slow.
Yeah.
And you're just like, God damn it, dude, I'm fucking like I'm 6'3". Like I could take strides and I'm walking behind this 70-year-old elderly woman. And that's how it feels conversationally with a lot of women. And more so women than men, because like most men I meet instantly like we're hitting it off in Austin specifically.
Yeah.
And that's definitely because men constantly face rejection and we're constantly forced to re-examine our social skills and how to like be better at networking and stuff.
Yes.
Whereas women can pretty much just say whatever dumb shit they want and people just be like, oh yeah, you're so pretty.
There's no fucking consequence.
Which I'm not complaining about. That's how it should be. Because if you're just calling women out all the time, like they're fucking small. Like they're small people. They're smaller and weaker. You have to be nice to them.
Of course.
So
it's not fun to be not nice to them either.
But I get it. Yeah, I know. I get impatient, dude. I'm just like, I can't fucking. I'm just like, that emotion explains how I feel with most women.
Is that okay? So that's why you don't have the relationships you want. that face. That's the face.
Where it's like I can't say anything, but
I think you could if you're nice about it. Because like, I'm constantly teasing the women that I date, and have dated, and I'm always like, and I say it funny. Like if they smile about it, then they're like, haha, you're right. Like, and I'm like, oh, like. Okay, this most recent chick, I remember very constantly. I would say, I would say to her, "How?" All right, we got to delete the whole stream. Start from the beginning. I would constantly tell her, like, "How have you survived this long without me?" When she would say something that I'm like, "How seriously? How did you not know that?" But I would say it in a way where I'm like flirting, and she likes it, and she's laughing. And she knows that I still love her and care about her. And it's not like a real insult.
That's not teasing.
Well, your teasing might be different. But
yeah.
If you're like, you're a dumb whore. And your intelligence level is so low that I could basically fucking hire a mosquito to work for me and it'd be smarter than you.
Yeah.
And they would be less annoying. Well, then I could understand how she might not like that. Like that's like teasing amongst the boys.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe that's all it is. Look, here's what I want to say. I think we're close to the end here, and I want to hear more from you, and I want to see what else we got before we sign off. But what I would say to you, as the relationship doctor, the only one, and someone who appreciates you very much, and I love you who you are. I love your character. You're a super unique guy. I think that you deserve everything you want in any realm of relationship. I think that for you, you need to start sucking dick. And that's our show, everyone. Nah, just kidding. No, I just
prescribed gayness.
prescribed homosexuality. That's what they're trying to do to us. So we're not going to get conspiracy. Dude, oh, fuck. I wanted to ask you about conspiracy shit. Can we switch gears? Do you want to finish on this relationship thing first?
Whatever you want, man.
I want to ask you some conspiracy shit.
We can't go too deep about certain groups of people because I will get kicked off YouTube. I have been twice. So I don't want to risk it anymore.
I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite conspiracy?
Favorite? There's only one conspiracy, and that is that humans are a slave race, genetically modified, created by the Anunnaki about 30,000 years ago, and we are our sole existence is to work to serve our masters, so the people at the top don't have to work, because the work has to get done, right? If you don't want to do the work, you have to have someone else do the work for you.
Why are you fucking pointing like that?
The work needs to be done. If you want to fly in a private jet, someone's got to build that private jet. So there's no offloading workloads without outsourcing it to usually slaves or low-paid children.
Okay.
iPhones, like imagine if you had to build all of the things that you currently own. You would have had no time for anything else. Your whole life would be spent on making
I
the shit.
should never do it. Yeah, I would.
So the way society is structured now perfectly resembles my theory of how it was 30,000 years ago, except instead of the Anunnaki being at the top relaxing, it's, well, I mean, some say shape-shifting reptilians, so it could still be them. That is possible. But one thing that is for sure is the people at the top do not have to work as much.
I want to hear. Okay, tell me what you believe.
That was it.
So what is? Give me the really fucking short version. What is the Anunnaki? And
7 aliens.
You believe in that?
Yeah.
Okay. 7 aliens came from where? The outer space, and they came and they were like, let's create some fucking
From
some
the
slaves. Doesn't matter where they came
from the Draco constellation, I think.
What was the most,
Or the Pleiades.
okay, what was the source that you were like, I believe that now?
Billy Carson,
Who's that?
some dude that talks about this shit.
What made you believe Billy Carson, who I've never heard of?
Well, I just saw him talking about all this shit. He was saying all these wild, insane stuff, and I was like, "What the fuck?" So I sat there, pausing it, googling every claim he was making,
Okay.
and I found sources for everything he said. So now it's at the point where when he says something, I'm just like, "Okay, that's probably truth behind that."
So you think that, okay, so 30,000 years ago, 7 aliens came from wherever, came here, created human beings. They created us, or okay, as a slave race to create tech for them. Hey, do the work so that we can, whatever we need to do.
I've heard it was to mine gold. That was our responsibility. They wanted to spray gold into the atmosphere to block out the sun.
Okay, here's a question. How do women like when you talk about this? Do they find it funny or do they find it crazy? Or both? I mean, both probably, but like, are they more like freaked out when you say this, or they think it's funny? Because you're like, hey.
Neither. They find it fascinating, and they think
like
I'm
it?
really intelligent, and they want to hear more.
That tells you everything you need to know about women, doesn't it?
It's actually, I think that's what makes women like me a lot, is when I go in that, like, the juxtaposition of silly and then like the universe. And then they're like, whoa, this guy's like funny and interesting. And that's kind of like the emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it's funny you asked that, because I've had a joke with my friends before. They're like, all right, I'm going on a date tonight. I'm going to try to not talk about the Sumerian tablets. And it never works. Like, I always bring it up like at first date. I usually bring it up within first meeting people.
I think that's incredible.
I think it's the most fascinating thing ever.
I just think that
it puts everything else into perspective.
You are such an interesting character to me. But I'm telling you, I've met 50, 60,000 people. That might be conservative, because it was my whole thing, my entire purpose. Like, you know how you've been like, I go out, I go on stage, I perform a freestyle or a rap, or I make people laugh, or whatever it is. Like, that's been all I've done, is go meet people. You are such a fascinating character. I think it's incredible. So, I know that there's like two ladies watching and stuff like that right now, but genuinely, you are an incredible figure, and I want to tell you that to your face, so that I want you to believe it like I believe it. I can see what you're doing is so rare. You are such a rare character, and you have such an awesome combination of dedications and skill sets, and it's amazing, bro. So
this isn't the Suck My Dick podcast.
No.
But I appreciate it.
I already told you I'm prescribing homosexuality. So
that's what this is all about.
Yeah, I'm seducing you right now.
This all makes sense now.
Yeah,
you guys set me up.
Yeah.
All right.
But seriously, you're amazing, and I appreciate this, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
Hey, we're not done.
Okay, no, I just wanted to say thanks for having me, anyways, and it's a pleasure to speak to you. You're awesome.
Yeah,
I really appreciate
this
who
for
you
a
are.
while.
Yeah, we were, and we'll do more.
So okay, I've been saying this to my friend lately, and I want to get your take on it. So I think the best way to attract women is to attract men. Because if you do things that gain the respect and admiration of other men,
Mhm.
women will see other men respect you and then be attracted to you.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I don't know if it's the best. I don't know if we could argue about if it's the best, but that's definitely top tier. S tier, as they would say, the YouTube nerds.
Because, like, okay, this is perfect. You think I'm fucking awesome.
Yeah, you are.
I don't most think guys think
know.
I'm fucking awesome.
Yeah, I know you are.
Most girls are like, oh, you do comedy and you
that's-
fight people.
no,
like
but that's
they think
'cause-
I'm insane.
No, that because you are insane, and you're like almost autistic to a degree with women mostly, but somewhat with your texts also, and not knowing your fucking address and shit like that.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah, you are awesome, and you are insane, and you are also like incredibly socially intelligent in limited capacity, like limited capacities, most of the important capacities, and then like in this one way that it's going to hurt you with women, you are retarded. But it's weird because you're like this stud who they want to be with if you just knew that part. So it's like it's not like a lot of the guys I've worked with who are actually socially retarded and they're fucking lame. You're not lame. You're awesome. And you're not totally socially retarded. You're socially intelligent and confident and charismatic. There's just this one little like thing where you're like a psycho or something. Like, I don't know what exactly how to describe it. We haven't gotten that much in person for me to be able to fucking, like analyze it.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I know, but that's
I would like to
it's one
see
thing.
you be able to articulate it though.
Okay, so what it is there's like I just don't want to pull all your shit on blast, but I think that's
Oh yeah,
you already do that. You already do that anyway. No, I'm not gonna put like sensitive details, but I just mean you already joke about this shit. So I think like you have like a certain you have like a limited empathy or something. You have like strong empathy to be able to know what's funny, make people laugh, are people vibing with this? You're very present, you're attuned to how we're feeling. So you're not a sociopath, you're not a psychopath, and you're not autistic. But there's like a little drop of something like that. Because with women, when you're talking about it, I'm like, well, yeah, like why would she? Like of course she wants to fuck, and then of course she's not gonna.
I have a lot of girls that tell me that I would get laid a lot if I just never opened my mouth.
Yeah, and part of that is also like in your favor because it's part of your charisma is that you talk about what you're interested in. So like that also works in your favor too. But then there's like this missing thing that we haven't hung out enough in person for me to be able to tell you, but there's like
I mean, all in all, I am happy with how things are going.
What do
I
your
like
male
being
friends
single.
tell you? What do your male friends tell you about this? Like the friends that you trust, like Gary or whoever, I don't know who else you hang out with. What do they say? What do they suggest? The ones who get laid.
Well, all of my friends get laid.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
What do they tell you then? I doubt Hans can. Sorry.
I don't know.
Sorry, Hans. Okay.
I don't really ask my friends for. I mean, me and Gary talk about it. Gary has me, you, and Gary would have a good conversation.
I'd love to hang out with you and Gary, be like a fly in the wall in the podcast.
Gary,
you guys are so fun together, man. You have an incredible.
Yeah, Gary's just like. Gary says like, well, yeah, chicks think you're hot, and then you start talking to them, and you're autistic and retarded, and.
But what is he? Okay, yeah. So have you ever dug into that with him?
Yeah, a lot. The thing is like I could, if I wanted to, I could like use self-control to not say certain things, to not seem weird. But then that's not a life I want to live. I don't want to be pruning my personality.
No,
I just want to be. I mean, I'll hold in anything that's disrespectful or rude or mean. But if I'm just like, I don't know, I'm always thinking about weird, random shit, and I'm gonna talk about what I think about. I have elevated myself to a point in life where I do not have to settle for anyone's bullshit or try to. Oh yeah, so interesting. Wow, cool. Like I don't have to do that shit. I can just get up and walk away. I can just be like, that story sucked.
I like that. I like that you have that. I don't think that's bad. But there has to be some tact, I think.
Yeah.
So like, what's the outcome that you're aiming for? I think there has to be some tactic because what the
Like if I were to talk to a girl right now,
yeah,
I would just go up to a random girl and start talking to her.
we
Which-
should before. Sorry to interrupt. Before I forget, because I'm alcoholized right now. We should get a girl here with me on the podcast, and we can do that live thing.
That would be interesting.
Let's do that. Okay, go ahead. You're gonna say if I had a girl here right now.
Like if I just saw a girl and I was like, I want to go talk to her, I wouldn't really have anything to say off the bat. So it would kind of just be like, I kind of would just like rush in with some like weird, crazy shit. Like, hey, did you ever, would you eat an entire chair for 1,000? I don't know, dude. I don't know what I would say. But then it would get to a point where they're just like, what the fuck? It would be like a rocky start. And then I would get like the swing of it, like get a feel for their personality.
Sure.
And then
On stage.
I'll start being like clever and charismatic and stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like a rocky liftoff.
Okay.
But I always pull it back around.
Sure. I think if you did what you just described, I can see you doing both of those. I think if you had brought that smile from the beginning and you slowed down, because you said your mind moves fast. So if you went and approached with, excuse me, it's a weird question, but would you eat like an entire chair and just look at them and pause and then just watch their face like go through all sorts of, they're thinking, what did he just, you know? And then wait for them to process what you just said and be prepared for a confused response. And then when they do respond, they'll be like, wait, chair? And you'd be like, yeah, like, you know, like a chair like this. Like if
You could put it in a wood chipper and eat it with a spoon.
yeah, like if you would do, like if I gave you like $5, would you? Yeah, this is the fucking secrets from 17 years right now. Like if I give you like $5, or like if I bought you like a Whataburger, would you be down to like consume an entire chair if you knew there was no medical consequences and that you're gonna like people are gonna
$5 is, I wouldn't ask that. That's disrespectful.
$5 and a Whataburger?
No, I'd say like, let's say $1 million. A whole chair? Okay, just one leg. Sure, I'd eat one leg for $1 million. I'm like, well, then having sex with you must be way cheaper.
Okay,
See? Like I'll think of a punchline after I get started.
I
Like I go in just blind and then I'm like, oh, there's something. Although I wouldn't say that either. I wouldn't offer to pay to have sex with a woman that I just met or ever.
Yeah, I think that basically it would be like maybe it might be slowing it down, like slowing down you have to, if you accept that you're
Dude, that's great feedback actually, because that is what I need to do on stage as well.
really,
Yeah. And just a lot. I mean, I told you, like I think fast.
yeah,
I literally, mathematically, I have more thoughts pop into my mind by like a large margin than like anyone I know.
and like faster than you can deliver them probably even too. So you're just like trying to get them out, maybe. Well, you have to. Well, fuck it, we're already doing this. Women don't think that fast as much usually. Sometimes they think faster than me. A lot of some of you women out there are faster thinkers than I do. Don't cancel me for this. But in your case, you know that the women that you're interested in, typically like feminine, sweet women, they're not like, I'm trying to be the fastest battle rapper or improv comedian. So if you were to just have just be like somewhat of a you can still be an asshole for fun because they're gonna like it because it's funny because you're funny, but be a little bit of a gentleman in the sense of like give them some leeway and like, okay, this is just like a girl who doesn't have to know this skill set. Let her process it. And you might have like 17 fucking punchlines that come up while she's processing and saying some boring shit. But you're like, she's being sweet. She's cute. And then you pick the best one when she's done talking. And then like you because a lot of seduction, I feel like is like the thing that I feel like you might not be doing. I haven't seen you talking to girls. We should do a podcast with a chick. That'd be awesome. But I think what I can imagine is like you're fucking firing because that's how your brain works, and it's like too overwhelming for her. Maybe do girls ever give you that?
Yeah,
feedback?
for sure. Yeah, I get told that. Let's see, what kind of feedback do I get from women?
Yeah, I'd love to know that.
At the beginning, women say that I scare them. I get that a lot. Only at the beginning, though. Once they get to know me, they're like, "Oh, okay, I get it."
Sure.
Yeah. Fuck. What else?
Overwhelming. Do you ever hear that? Like you're a
Confusing. I get confusing a lot.
Okay.
Which I feel bad about. I don't like confusing people.
Sure.
I like to be clear. But I switch. Like I'll be talking about one thing, I'll think of something, I'll go off on these tangents that it is confusing. I get it. I'm confused sometimes.
Do they ever say you're a lot? Like, oh, you're a lot, or no? I don't know. I'm trying to guess.
I mean, I have been told that before.
Confusing. What do you think they mean when they say that? Or like, what's an example?
Well, because I mean, like with the Sumerian tablet stuff and all the conspiracy stuff and like all of my gym stuff and my comedy people, like I'm very plugged in to a lot of things that if you don't know about them, you don't know about them.
Okay.
So if I'm telling you that fucking, I don't know, I'm getting self-conscious about who I'm gonna name drop, so I'm not gonna say anyone.
Okay.
But if I just say certain things, any person is gonna just be like, who's that? What is that? What does this mean?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a conscious like narrowing down and like thinking about what I'm gonna say as I'm saying it whenever I talk to new people, because I have to like kind of set the stage for my life. Like people don't know anything about me.
Okay.
And then I mean a lot of people, I've been called a liar a lot. People think I'm just full of shit. They're like, oh really, you fight and do comedy and make music? And yeah, I do. Like everyone who knows me knows that that's true. But like new people, it seems like I'm full of shit sometimes. But it's pretty.
I think that's your tone if they would call you a liar, it's because of your tone.
The tonality is an issue, I've noticed.
I mean, I think the tonality is awesome. You're extremely charismatic. I want to learn from your tonality. It almost makes you want to do comedy just to absorb more of that.
Because there's a lot that
it's also so much that people were like, this can't be a real person, which is probably what they're saying. And I don't think it's too much. I like it. I think that you should amp that up more, but it just needs to be tactful. If you want to, if there's problems in your interpersonal relationships, that just means that it's not, there's a lack of tact that you could include, because charisma is incredible. You've got it.
I'll say this. When I meet a girl that I'm actually interested in, she just doesn't text back. And then it's like, I can't do nothing.
Pull up one now.
No.
Why not?
Because if I get on my phone, it's going to throw off everything.
Okay.
But
did you see how I just said okay instead of pressing you on it?
Yeah.
Is that something you would be like, come on, or no? If it was a girl and you're like, pull up something on your phone, and she's like, no, I don't want to do it, would you be like, come on?
No,
okay.
I wouldn't press.
All right.
Yeah, if I tell someone to do something and they don't do it, then I'm like, okay, never talking to you again.
Okay.
Oh, that's fine. Enjoy your independence on your way out of my fucking house.
Okay. What's our let's cover one more interesting topic before we go have an adventure.
You usually just say the topic.
Well, I thought that you might have some because it's your podcast. I'd like to talk about a certain conflict in the Middle East.
No.
No.
You mean the media? That's the reason why you have so many clients? Did you just connect that dot? I've been thinking that this whole time.
Fuck.
As soon as you said that, I was like, oh man, it always goes back to that.
Holy shit, man.
It's kind of scary, man.
Holy shit, you're right. You're right.
It's really scary.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. Well, I hope that whoever's watching this is getting some value, because this is incredible. They're not going to meet guys like you.
Oh,
dude.
There. Are you fucking blurry? Yeah, I'm in focus and you're blurry. This is a disaster, man. This is what happens when you do everything yourself, though. Lisa, yeah, that's going.
Legit, so just repost
Oh yeah, that'll be cool.
I think what we should do is get a house, get a compound with the boys, and then do this all the time. And
Yeah,
we can fucking jam and we can podcast, and TJ can move in, and Matt, he can stay on his own fucking place all the way over there. Fuck you can't live with us because you don't want to fucking move in. Just kidding. You're welcome. That would be amazing. And we could do this all the time. Like honestly, I really since we did that jamming session, you don't understand watching the skills that Eli demonstrated to me out there in his fucking studio. And we were jamming. I'm like, oh, this is fun. I want to do this way more often. And Brandon and I, he's showing me stuff, and I'm like, oh, you know how to do this level? Imagine what we could all produce. And this guy's got incredible music taste. We could be producing music.
He could just sit there and be like, yeah, that was good.
Yeah. That's exactly right. He'll be the guy. Yes. We could do some cool shit. But I want to go.
Hang on. I got a question for you.
Okay.
So actually, I don't know if this is a question. I guess essentially, at times I feel guilty about the fact that I want to date a bunch of women. And I mean, I don't open it up like that. But is that normal to feel guilty about it? And how do you get over that? Not guilty that I'm doing anything wrong, just guilty in the sense that I know that I can't be honest with women. Or should I just start being fully honest and then watching them drop like flies until I eventually something sticks?
That's a good question. It is common to feel guilty, but that's because of our programming from the culture that we grew up in. I have never been dishonest about it because I was lucky enough that by the time I was dating, I had already been studying the shit and I knew what I wanted. So I never have lied about it once. I've done some fucked up shit. When I was in my teens, I slept with girls with boyfriends and stuff like that. I've done that a few times. Mostly it was by accident. If I tally everything up. And I was just like, fuck it. It was all for me. It was like selfish. But I've never lied to any girl I've been with ever about my desire to be with multiple. Ever. Not once, ever. And girls can accept it. Every girl, once she gets closer to you, in my experience, doesn't like the idea of that. She would prefer to have you to herself if she really loves you, which makes sense. A lot of the guilt that I have felt in the past few years, since being honest about this with every girl I've ever been with, like all three of them, is because I don't like to see them feel bad. But then I also know that if I'm going to be the best I can be, I know what I want. I know who I'm trying to become. And I know that if I let their insecurity affect me, or if I become responsible for their insecurity, there's going to come a point pretty soon where their respect for me goes down because I'm not who they signed up to be with anymore. So I always say it from the very beginning, but it's not always like, for example, first date. Do you mind?
I don't lie about it. I don't say that like,
No.
I'm only into monogamy and But like, I won't bring it up.
So first date, what I do is I always ask, it depends on your goals. I'm not saying that you should do this or that you should do this, but for me, I know that I'd like to have like a few wifeys.
Do you talk about the future on the first date?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, definitely. Not in explicit detail because I'm not like trying to do an interview, but I definitely throw some questions in. And one of the ones I always ask is like, oh, like, have you like, once we start to get a little bit more spicy, a little bit more flirty, I'm like, oh, have you ever been with a woman before? Or have you ever dated a woman? Have you ever been with a woman? Do you like women? Something like this. And I'll just try to find out, like, measure very lightly. Are you like bisexual? Are you into women? And then they're either like no. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I just leave it at that. And I just bookmark that. Okay, cool. She's not into women. Okay. So we probably won't be like long term. But if she's like, yeah, well, no, I've never been with a woman, but like I really like, I think that there's, I'm attracted to them, but I've never like had an opportunity, blah blah blah. We've kissed before, but so I'm like, okay, so she's open to that. Or she's like, yeah, I've dated women before. Oh yeah. I'm like, oh really? You dated women? Have you ever had a threesome? And she's like, yeah, well, no, actually, or yes. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Dude, threesomes are the best.
They are, but they're also not. Like they're a fucking hassle, honestly. But their whole thing is not even. They're awesome, but they're also shit because it's like it's just extra. You got to focus, and it's like it's like management.
You're running around with a clipboard.
A little bit. Yeah, it's not. It's sometimes like it's not even as. It's cool. I think you should do. Every man should try to do it once if he's interested, because it's just kind of like a fun experience that is good to kind of cross off the bucket list, I guess, if you want to. But not that you have to. But
I think you have to, and you should.
I think
a lot.
I think that for the men who are interested, then yeah, you should. But also the thing is, when I think about what I'm going for, as far as multiple women, it's no longer because I'm trying to. When I was a younger man, in my early 20s, I thought it would just be cool. It was like a cool factor. I'm like, oh, like I can just date. The idea of like dating multiple women and having threesomes was like cool. That was sort of a big part of the reason. I was like, I'm going to be like the man.
I would rather have like one solid chick, but they would have to check so many boxes that it just makes more sense to have like 10. Because they each fill like 10% of my needs.
Well, that's the thing is,
and then that 10 of them adds up to 100.
That's the thing is that there's a certain element where, and a lot of people can't accept this. I think you'll understand it though. For a certain type of man who is not, I think mostly this is a judgment, but mostly the men who are like unplugged will crave variety and recognize they crave variety. And that is in our genetics. And they've done tests. Like that's what men are designed to do and want. That's from God. Like if you want to, if
and then he threw on a dash of being really fucking good looking. You want me to waste this?
Thank you.
What are we doing here?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. But what my point is,
I was including you.
Thank you. My point was like, I think that like girls don't like to hear that. But the thing is, if you tell them the truth, you can't. A lot of them will accept. Okay, I can get on board with that if you're honest with me, and if you can be honest and tell them, hey, yeah, look, here's the thing is, from the first date, bisexuality, cool. Threesomes, interested, cool, awesome. And if you want to be able to have multiple, you have to decide. For me, in my head, it's like, do I want multiple all in one house, so harem style, or multiple different places, keep them separated, but they know about each other, obviously. Hopefully they can meet and hang out when we go on my birthday dinner this week, for example. That'd be cool. If we're going to have children all together, it'd be nice to have a joint Thanksgiving, fucking Thanksgiving.
How many girlfriends do you have right now?
I don't want to talk about that. Okay. This is not something I will talk about at the moment, but less than I did 2 weeks ago. I'll say that. And actually, you know what? Even if she watches, it's like she actually knows how many. And the reason why recently I've broken up with my main girl. Well, she actually, I don't know. Maybe she broke with me, honestly, but we had like an agreement where. This was the plan. She knew it the whole time. And then it became a little bit too much for her the closer that she got to me. No one knows this. This is going live on the fucking internet right now. No one knows this. It's going on Octavius Thunder YouTube channel first. Some of my close friends don't even know this yet. But she was cool with it the whole time. It was amazing. And we still love each other. We still see each other. But not sure if we can work it out. Because the closer that we get, the more that some of that stuff comes up as far as, oh, well, that's going to make me insecure. And that, you have a threesome, you spend a little bit too much time with one girl, the other girl, now the jealousy goes up. Maybe she finds some text messages that she's looking at, and it's like, even if she knew up front,
seeing it is different.
Seeing it's different. Exactly. So I think that we all, if you really want to do this, which I think you could, and if anyone should be able to pull it off, it's a man like yourself. You got to decide, do you want to be able to have them? What would be the goal, like end goal? You have multiple all in one place. You want like 2 or 3 all in one house. They all get along. That'd be great. It's convenient. Do you want to have them separate? They know about each other. They meet each other. They get along when they see each other. Cool. Multiple families. You're going to have a joint Christmas, separate Christmases. You spread it out. How do they interact with each other? Do you have one main? Do you have 3 main girls? Do you still see girls on the side? These kinds of like details need to be considered, I think. And it's not going to be necessarily easy, but relationships aren't easy in general necessarily all the time anyway. But I do think that you would be one of the men who deserve it. And there's not ever going to be a woman, as far as my experience goes, that's going to say, Eli, I think you should have 2 other main girlfriends aside from me, who you also fall in love with and build families with, and who you also then like have your own relationship with that.
Yeah, that'd be a crazy bitch.
Yeah, I mean that's probably not going to happen. So that's one of the challenges of this, and I don't know if it's right. I don't know if I don't think it's wrong. What I mean is I don't know if it's super viable as a recommendation, but it is what some people are. A lot of men that I know crave, and it's what I'm going to try to do. And I know I'll pull it off. We'll just see. Is it going to be worth it? I suppose.
All right, I got a bunch of more questions for you off camera.
All right.
Let's get it. Let's get out of here, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining me.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
my
great.
You're a fucking legend,
This is
man. I love you, bro.
we're gonna post this up, and thanks for following. Where can we find you?
Yeah, just like go to @it's Alex Walton, ITSALEXWALTON, and then follow the 2 accounts in my bio to see the reels that we're posting with my full-time cameraman, TJ over there, who's amazing. And we'll see you guys soon. And thanks for having me, Eli. I appreciate you.
I guess.